Tireless Cancelo, a perfect example of Pep Guardiola's superb Man City machine. Early in the second half, Joao Cancelo sprinted the length of the field, sent a decent chance into the stands, and, without breaking stride, sprinted back to the halfway line, ready to assume any unlikely defensive duties. Pep Guardiola's applause was so vigorous, it must have been painful. He loves Cancelo culture. The Portuguese has become yet another perfect Pep player, one more Guardiola identikit product. It often takes time, and it has with Cancelo, but the Manchester City manager usually gets there in the end, usually improves a footballer to a significant degree. He wants players to work phenomenally hard, obviously. And that episode just after the break certainly proved Cancelo's diligence. He wants his players to be daring. And Cancelo's role in a bizarre first goal ticked that box. He wants his players to be inventive and direct. And Cancelo's lead doubling hit just before the half-hour mark was certainly that. And the frightening aspect to this routine win was that Cancelo was one of the few City operators who engaged anything approaching top gear. But as if City is a club that needs any help, they got plenty here. And if you are a fan of the early Christmas gift cliché, the opening goal was a classic of the genre. Credit should indeed go to Cancelo for his run and his athleticism, but his hooked volley should have been harmless. Instead, Martin Dubravka, despite the big gloves, seemed to leave it for Ciaran Clark to deal with, but the defender ducked beneath it and Ruben Dias nodded into an unguarded net. If that was comedy, the goal that doubled the lead was fantasy. In the case for Cancelo, to be judged City's player of the season to this point, this was Exhibit A, collecting a pass just inside Newcastle territory. He skipped past a couple of defensive efforts before thumping a bona fide screamer past Dubravka. For a team that had fought its way into the game after that disastrous start, it was a tough blow to take. Just as it was a tough blow when Martin Atkinson somehow failed to award a penalty after Ederson had wiped out Ryan Fraser. The refusal of the VAR official to have a word in Atkinson's ear was equally mystifying. A chance to reduce the arrears from the penalty spot would have been well earned, and it would have been reflective of City's lethargy. But, predictably, Newcastle's energy and City's torpor would not be as pronounced post-interval, and a couple of further goals was the measliest reward for the dominance of the champions. VAR actually did its job when an offside flag was proved erroneous as Riyad Mahrez tucked home Alexander Zinchenko's clever pass and Raheem Sterling tapped in a late sitter after fine work from Gabriel Jesus. By then, Guardiola had given breathers to Rodri, Ruben Dias and Mahrez and did not even have to call on Phil Foden. Cancelo did not want, or seem to need, a breather. His commitment